Hey, Shalom Israel, we're back, and today is day 5 of month 1, and we are in the countdown to Passover, which is coming very quickly. And today I'd like to talk about Passover and the connection with the Last Supper and, I guess, communion. Because if you ask a lot of believers in the mainstream, you ask them if they keep, they do communion or the Last Supper, a lot of people will say, yes, I do communion. Matter of fact, they may do it once a week, once a day, 5 times a day. It just varies. But if you ask them if they keep Passover, they'll look at you like you just stepped off a spaceship. And so there's a major disconnect. As a matter of fact, one time it was really interesting. I was talking to somebody, and when I had told them I celebrate Passover, they asked me if I was a Muslim. So obviously, and this was a believer, and I was very curious what fellowship they went to. But anyways, there's a major disconnect in the body of Messiah regarding the appointed times. That's why I'm doing these videos, to help connect some dots here. And then it's important also just to not do everything everyone else is doing. Just because everyone else is doing it, you just don't follow the crowd. We need to be doing scriptural things in scriptural ways, and that's why we're looking to see what's going on here. In 1 Corinthians 11, verse 20, it says, "So when you come together in one place, is it not to eat the Master's Supper?" Skipping down to 23. "For I received from the Master that which I also delivered to you, that the Master Yehושע, in the night in which he was delivered up, took bread, and having given thanks, he broke it and said, 'Take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. Do this in remembrance of me.' In the same way, also the cup after supper, saying, 'This cup is the renewed covenant in my blood. As often as you drink it, do this in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you proclaim the death of Messiah until he comes.'" That last verse 26 is important, because a lot of people that take communion don't realize they're maybe focused on the resurrection, but it literally says this is post death, burial, resurrection, and Paul is saying that we are proclaiming the death till he comes, when we are partaking of this and this special day. So let's look at the cross reference in Luke 22:15. "And he," this is Yehושע, "said to them, 'With desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before my suffering. For I say to you, I shall certainly not eat of it again until it is fulfilled in the kingdom of Elohim.' And taking the cup and giving thanks, he said, 'Take this and divide it among yourselves. For I say to you, I shall certainly not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of Elohim comes.' And taking the bread, giving thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, 'This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me.' Likewise, the cup also after supper, saying, 'This cup is the renewed covenant in my blood, which is shed for you.'" Also in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 5, 7, and 8, Paul's literally instructing the Corinthians that Messiah is our Passover, and we're to keep the feast. So he's telling the Corinthians to keep the feast, but he's setting the order, because there's some things wrong in the assembly in Corinthians. And so when he's talking about this day that we're proclaiming the death, he's referring to Passover. So the big piece is Passover is literally, or was, the Last Supper, aka what people know as communion or the covenant meal. We'll talk more about the covenant in upcoming little videos, but I wanted to point out that notice how it says, as we do this, we're proclaiming the death of Messiah till he comes by celebrating this day. This is an appointed time of Yah. And a lot of people disconnect. They don't realize that Passover was something instructed to be celebrated in the renewed covenant. And furthermore, to understand the death, burial, and resurrection of Messiah, the 3 days and 3 nights, your day count starts on Passover day, which is the 14th day of the first month. And if you miss it, you don't understand that's the day he died, you're not going to be able to figure out the 3 days and 3 nights. So this year, as you're preparing to celebrate Passover, the Master's Supper, the communion, the covenant meal, the renewing of the vows, however you want to say it, that very special meal, connecting yourself to the Almighty. Let's just remember his death. And in the future, we're going to talk about the resurrection that took place on another important appointed time. Shalom.